Welcome to the story of 5 friends who entered the forest and never came back the same. Turn off the lights, put on your headphones, and listen carefully. For Whispering Shadows, a horror story of 5 friends in America. Part 1. The trip begins. It was the start of winter break when 5 friends decided to take a road trip to a remote mountain town in Colorado. There was Ethan, the responsible one, always making the plans. Sophia, adventurous and fearless, the one who never believed in ghosts. Ryan, the joker of the group, always laughing, even in tense moments. Emily, quiet and sensitive, who secretly believed in the supernatural. And finally, Jake, the skeptic, who never trusted anything beyond science. Part 2. First night in the cabin. The friends unpacked their bags, lit the fireplace, and gathered in the living room. The sound of logs cracking was the only thing breaking the silence of the forest. "Man, this feels like a horror movie set," Ryan laughed, holding up his phone. "I'm gonna live stream tonight. Maybe we'll catch a ghost." Emily frowned. "Ryan, don't invite that kind of energy. You don't mock things you don't understand." Jake scoffed. "Here we go again. Ghosts aren't real. If shadows start whispering, I'll personally apologize." Sophia smirked. "Ooh, spooky, Jake. Don't worry, Emily. I'll protect you from the boogeyman." They laughed, but the air inside the cabin felt heavy. Ethan, always the leader, decided they should turn in early. Tomorrow was for hiking, exploring, and making memories. That night, Emily struggled to sleep. Around 3 a.m., she heard something, a faint whispering outside her window. At first, she thought it was the wind, but the whispers grew clearer. Her heart pounded as she heard her own name, Emily. She sat up, trembling. Outside the window, shadows moved unnaturally, stretching against the glass as if trying to get in. She gasped and blinked, but when she opened her eyes again, the shadows were gone. Was she dreaming, or had something just called to her? Part 3. The Warning. The next morning, Emily told the others what she saw. Ryan laughed. "You were dreaming. Classic horror movie trope." Jake shook his head. "Shadows don't whisper. Science, remember?" But Ethan noticed Emily's pale face. "Hey, don't dismiss her. Maybe she really heard something." Sophia shrugged. "Look, we came here for adventure. Let's not spook ourselves before the fun even starts." They decided to hike the forest trail. The deeper they went, the quieter it became. No birds, no rustling animals, just silence. Emily whispered, "This forest feels wrong." After an hour, they stumbled upon a burnt-down house hidden in the woods. Charred walls, broken windows, and blackened wood stood as if frozen in time. Ryan, of course, walked right in. "This is epic. I'm getting so many likes for this video." But Ethan stopped him. "Don't. This place looks dangerous." On the scorched walls, Emily noticed strange carvings, symbols scratched deep into the wood. They looked like eyes, circles, and claw marks. Suddenly, an old woman's voice echoed behind them. "You shouldn't be here." They turned to see an elderly woman, dressed in ragged clothes, standing by the trees. Her eyes were dark, hollow, and her voice cracked like dry wood. "This forest remembers. The cabin you stay in, it was never meant for the living." The friends froze. Ethan stepped forward. "What do you mean?" But before he could finish, the woman vanished into thin air. No footsteps, no sound, just gone. Part 4. The second night. That night, unease filled the cabin. Jake tried to joke, but his voice lacked confidence. "Okay, we saw a creepy old lady. big deal? Towns like this always have their weirdos. Emily sat by the fireplace, clutching a blanket. She wasn't just a weirdo. She warned us, didn't you hear her? Sophia poured herself a drink. Even if she's right, we're not leaving. We already paid for the cabin. Ethan sighed. Let's just stick together. No one goes outside alone. But Ryan, always reckless, decided otherwise. Around midnight, he slipped out with his phone to make a scary TikTok by the forest line. He pointed the camera toward the trees, whispering dramatically, "Okay, guys, if you see a ghost behind me, comment below." The video showed nothing at first. But then, shadows began moving behind him. Ryan didn't notice until his viewers started commenting. "Bro, look behind you!" When he finally turned around, the trees looked alive, shadows twisting like human figures. The phone dropped, and his scream echoed through the night. The others rushed outside. "Ryan, where are you?" Ethan shouted. They found his phone, still recording, but Ryan was gone. The last frame on the video? A black, shadowy hand reaching toward him. Only part 5, the disappearance. Panic spread. "Where the hell is he?" Sophia cried. Ethan held the phone, replaying the video again and again. "Something took him," Emily whispered. "The shadows, they wanted him." Jake finally looked shaken. No, this isn't real. He probably ran off to scare us." But an hour passed, then 2. No sign of Ryan. The group locked themselves inside the cabin, but the atmosphere grew suffocating. The fireplace dimmed, and the shadows inside the cabin stretched unnaturally long across the walls. Suddenly, Ryan's voice came from the corner. "Guys, help me!" They turned, but there was no one there. Emily screamed. "That wasn't him! That was them!" The whispers grew louder, circling the room. The shadows began crawling across the floor, reaching for their feet. Ethan grabbed a lantern. "Upstairs. Everyone upstairs!" They ran, slamming the door shut behind them. But even as they huddled together, the whisper seeped through the walls. "One is gone. 4 remain." Part 6. The cabin turns alive. The 4 friends huddled in the upstairs room. The door rattled, as if invisible hands were scratching to get in. Sophia whispered, her voice shaking. "We have to leave this cabin now." Ethan shook his head. "It's pitch black out there. If Ryan's gone, we'll be next." Emily hugged her knees, tears in her eyes. "The old woman, she said the cabin wasn't for the living. This place belongs to them." Jake, usually the skeptic, was pale. "We wait until sunrise. Whatever this is, it can't survive daylight." But the whispers didn't stop. They grew clearer, louder, almost like a chorus. "Emily, come to us. Ethan, Sophia, Jake." The shadows stretched across the ceiling, forming distorted faces, screaming, weeping, grinning. Sophia snapped. "I'm not staying here." She grabbed her jacket and flashlight. "I'd rather die in the woods than let shadows drag me away." She stormed toward the stairs. Ethan tried to stop her. "Sophia, wait!" But when he reached for her arm, the flashlight flickered. The shadows wrapped around her legs like chains. Sophia screamed as she was pulled down the staircase. The last thing they saw was her hand reaching back before darkness swallowed her whole. Her scream echoed once, then silence. Only 3 remained. Part 7. The Forest Calls. Ethan, Emily, and Jake sat frozen. Jake muttered, "This can't be happening. It's not real. It's..." Emily cut him off, her voice trembling. "Stop denying it! Look around you! The forest wants us!" Ethan clenched his fists. "Then we fight it. Whatever this is, we find a way out." But the cabin had other plans. The walls groaned. Windows shattered one by one. Cold air rushed in, carrying whispers that circled like vultures. Suddenly, the front door creaked open by itself. Beyond it lay the forest, glowing faintly under the moonlight. Emily whispered, "It's calling us." The whispers grew stronger. "Leave the house. Come to us." Against their better judgment, they stepped outside. The forest loomed, shadows weaving between the trees like predators waiting for prey. They followed the faint sound of crying. A familiar voice. "Ryan?" Ethan whispered. Sure enough, in the distance, Ryan stood among the trees, his face pale, his body still. Emily cried out, "Ryan, you're alive!" She ran toward him before Ethan could stop her. But as she reached out, Ryan's face twisted, his eyes hollow, his mouth stretching unnaturally wide. He wasn't Ryan anymore. He was a shadow wearing Ryan's skin. The figure lunged, and the forest swallowed Emily in a single breath. Her scream cut through the night. Then silence. Only Ethan and Jake remained. Part 8, The Truth Revealed. Jake fell to his knees. "We're dead. We're all dead. It's only a matter of time." Ethan forced him up. "No, we can't give in. That old woman, she knew something. There has to be a way." Suddenly, the forest cleared, revealing the burnt-down house they'd had found earlier. Except now, it looked whole, intact, as if time had rewound. Light flickered inside. Ethan dragged Jake toward it. "Come on, this has to mean something." Inside, the house smelled of smoke and ash. Old furniture stood as if untouched. On the wall, the same strange carvings glowed faintly. Emily's voice echoed faintly. "Ethan," Sophia's cry followed. "Help me." Then Ryan's laugh. "We're waiting." Jake clutched his head. "They're in the house! Oh God, they're in the walls!" Ethan studied the carvings. His hands shook as he traced one symbol. "These aren't random. They're a seal. Someone tried to trap the shadows here." Jake's eyes widened. "And we broke it by coming here?" The whispers grew deafening. The shadows rose like smoke, forming a towering figure. Faceless, with claws like branches. It spoke in a voice like thunder. "You are ours now." Part 9. The Final Stand. Ethan pushed Jake. "Run!" Jake stumbled toward the door, but the shadows grabbed him, yanking him back. His screams filled the house as he disappeared into darkness. Ethan stood alone, his friends gone. The shadows circled him. But then he remembered the old woman's warning. This forest remembers. The carvings glowed brighter, as if responding to him. Ethan took a piece of burnt wood and began carving the symbols again on the floor, recreating the seal. The shadows screamed, shaking the walls, trying to break his concentration. Hands reached for him. Faces shrieked in his ears. But Ethan didn't stop. With one final strike, the symbol glowed bright white. The shadows roared, their forms twisting violently. One by one, they were sucked back into the carvings, their whispers fading into silence. The forest stilled. The house turned back to ash, and Ethan collapsed. Part 10. The Survivor. When he opened his eyes, it was morning. Birds chirped. Sunlight cut through the trees. The cabin was gone. The burnt house was gone. It was just him, lying in the middle of an empty clearing. Ethan stumbled back to town. When he told the locals what happened, they looked at him with pity. One man whispered, every few years they come back. The forest takes who it wants. You're lucky it spared you. But Ethan didn't feel lucky. He had lost everyone. Ryan, Sophia, Emily, Jake. Their voices still haunted him at night. Sometimes he even saw their shadows flicker on the walls, whispering his name. He survived, but the forest had marked him. Because once you hear the whispers, you never truly escape them. End. If the whispers gave you chills, hit like, share this with a friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more terrifying stories. Because next time, the shadows might be waiting for you. If the whispers gave you chills, hit like, share this with a friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more terrifying stories. Because next time, the shadows might be waiting for you.